Good morning, my dear students. My dear students, we are going to start with the next lesson, motion in a plane. Okay. Before that, in your book, there is a lesson, motion in a single dimension or one dimension. Now, my dear students, this year, this lesson, motion in a straight line or in one dimension, has been removed. You go through your reduced syllabus, you will find that this lesson is not there. So we directly move to the next lesson, motion in or plane. Okay. So we start with the next lesson, motion in a plane. The first topic in the lesson is the physical quantities, which are divided into scalar quantity and vector quantity. So what you have studied about scalar and vector quantities. What are scalar quantities? Those quantities that have got only magnitude and no direction are known as scalar quantities. Like, for example, we have speed, temperature, time, distance. These are all scalar quantities. Okay, they have got no direction. But there are certain quantities which have got both magnitude as well as direction. They are called vector quantities, like velocity. So velocity has got a particular direction. A person is moving 30 km per hour due east, due west. Now this direction tells you that it is moving in a particular direction with the velocity of 30 km per hour. So it is a vector quantity. Displacement, acceleration, force, torque, momentum. These are few vector quantities. There are many more. I have given certain examples of vector quantity. So a vector quantity has got both the magnitude as well as the direction. Now in this lesson we are going to study about vector quantities. We are going to study about vectors. So how is a vector represented? What is the notation for a vector? We are going to discuss this. So a vector quantity is generally represented by an arrow. Okay. So a vector is represented by an arrow. The arrowhead tells you the direction of the vector quantity. This arrowhead tells you the direction of the vector quantity. Now we have these directions: north, south, east, west, and this is northeast, and this is northeast, northwest, and so on. Okay. So the direction, the alignment, the direction of the arrowhead tells you the direction of the vector quantity, and this length tells you the magnitude of the vector. Okay. So a vector quantity is always represented by an arrowhead. Like, for example, we have got velocity. Velocity is a vector quantity. Velocity of car A is 20 meter per second in northeast. Right? What we will do? We will take 20 meter. 1 meter equal to 1 centimeter, and we will draw a line of 2 centimeter. Okay, along northeast. So this arrowhead is along northeast, and this magnitude is of 2 centimeter. It represents the velocity of car A, VA, in direction northeast. Here. So if the velocity is 50 centimeter, we will take the arrowhead 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So this arrowhead represents the magnitude of the vector quantity. Here we have taken 50 meter per second. So we have taken 1 meter equal to 1 centimeter. This line line is of 5 centimeter and the direction is northeast. So a vector quantity, an arrowhead, is representing both the magnitude as well as the direction. Next we have the classification of vectors. Vectors can be classified into polar vectors and axial vectors. Okay, so they can be divided into polar vectors and axial vectors. Polar vectors are those vectors quantities that have got initial point, that is the starting point. So all those quantities that have got a starting point are known as polar vectors. So all those vector quantities that have got a starting point, they are called polar vector. Example, displacement. Okay, displacement has got a starting point from which the body started to move. Velocity, radius, force, these are all examples of polar vectors. Next we have axial vectors. Axial vectors क्या होते हैं? When the physical quantity represented by the vectors is not confined along a straight line, but it is described by a plane. Okay, at least. So any physical quantity that is explained by a plane but not along a straight line, that's known as a axial vector. Example, we have angular momentum, angular velocity, torque. So all of them are along a plane. The angular momentum is along a plane, angular direction, angular velocity is along a plane, or torque is along a plane. Then it is known as an axial vector. Like we have, and the plane that is going out. So we have the plane like this, and the vector is in this direction, omega. Now, omega represents angular velocity. So the body is rotating in a anti-clockwise direction, and the angular velocity is given by a plane via straight line perpendicular to the plane in which it is rotating. So this kind of vector is known as axial vector. The next important point is position and displacement vector. So we are going to talk about what is position vector and what is displacement vector. Now to describe a motion of an object in a plane. Now what is a plane? Plane XY. This is a Cartesian plane, XY plane. Okay, it makes a surface that is known as XY plane. So if we have to describe a motion of an object in XY plane, we use position and displacement vectors. So position has to be mentioned with respect to any initial position. Let the initial position be origin. We describe the position of a particle P. Let the particle be at the point P. So we describe its position with respect to the origin. Okay. So that represents the position vector of point P. It is represented by R1. Okay. A point P in the plane XY is represented by a vector OP, which is R1. Okay. Then this is the position of an object at time T1, that is at P. Now the body moves to a certain point and reaches another point Q. Now we have to find its position in this plane. So the position is always taken with respect to the origin. So position, we join this point with the origin. Okay. This OQ is giving you the position vector of the point Q. Another point, so it is represented by R2. Okay. So when we are representing any vector quantity, whenever we are representing any vector quantity, say A, we are putting a arrowhead over it. Arrowhead over it symbolizes that the quantity A is a vector quantity. So here R2 is the position vector of Q point. Now the particle has moved from P to Q in the time t2. Now there is a displacement that has taken place. The particle has moved from the point P to Q. So this point PQ, this is the displacement vector. The particle that was at time t2 at the point Q, it has moved from the point P to Q in time t2 minus t1. So the PQ vector is a displacement vector. So PQ vector is given by R2 minus R1. Okay, PQ vector is given by R2 minus R1. ये कैसे आया? डिस्प्लेसमेंट क्या होता है? फाइनल पोजीशन माइनस इनिशियल पोजीशन. व्हाट इज डिस्प्लेसमेंट? तो PQ किसके बराबर था? PQ इज इक्वल टू फाइनल इज OQ माइनस इनिशियल OP. OQ कितना था? R2. OP क्या था? R1 in the time interval T2 minus T1. So PQ vector represents the displacement vectors. Is it clear? So we have talked about the position vector. Position is described with respect to the origin in a given plane, xy plane. P represents the position vector with respect to O, that is represented by the vector R1, and it has moved in time t2 to the position Q. So R2 represents the position vector of Q. Now the body has moved from the point P to Q. So the displacement vector is represented by the vector PQ, and PQ is equal to R2 minus R1 because it is displacement is always the difference between the final position minus the initial position. So final position is OQ, Q, and initial is P. So R2 minus R1. The next point is zero or null vector. Now 0 or null vector, if two vectors A and B are in the same direction and are equal in magnitude, then their difference is equal to zero vector. If we have two vectors A and B in the same direction and their magnitude is also the same, then the difference is equal to zero vector. What is a zero vector? A zero vector is a vector of zero magnitude. Magnitude क्या है इसका? Zero. And no specified direction. Direction is not specified. So any vector that has got zero magnitude and unspecified direction, then it is known as zero vector, or it is simply a point. Why? Because we know that the magnitude of the vector is represented by a line. But zero vector has got zero magnitude, so its initial and final point both are same, so it is a dot, and it has got no particular direction, so it is a zero vector. So if two vectors if A and vector and B vector are equal, that is they are same in magnitude and same in direction, then the difference will give out a zero vector. A zero vector has got zero magnitude and no particular direction. Then we have the properties of zero vector. A zero vector is added to any vector A, then the answer is A vector. Okay, so there is no change if we add a zero vector to any given vector. The sum of the two vectors is equal to A. Then if any scalar quantity n is multiplied to a zero vector, there is no change in its magnitude because magnitude is itself a scalar quantity. So any number multiplied to scalar 0 is 0, and direction remains as unspecified. So if any quantity, scalar quantity number, say 2, 3, 5, 10, it is multiplied to zero vector, then the result is zero vector only. Then the third one, if 0 is multiplied to any vector A, again it will result in zero vector because the magnitude will become 0. So if 0 number is multiplied to any vector A, then the result is also vector 0 vector. Is it clear? So our resultant vector will be 0 vector. next property is equality of vectors or equal vectors. Two or more vectors are said to be equal if they are equal in their magnitude and are in the same direction. If both the magnitude and the direction are equal, or the magnitude of two vectors is the same and the direction is also the same, then the vectors are said to be equal vectors. Now I have drawn certain vectors here. You can see all of them are moving in one particular direction and their length has been also assumed to be equal. Okay, so I have drawn vector A, B, C and D. They are all moving in particular direction. Vector A, vector B, vector C. Their lengths are equal, so their magnitudes are equal, and they are in one specified direction, so their direction are also equal. Therefore, vector A equal to vector B equal to vector C. Now we talk about vector D. Vector D is also having the same length as of C, but its direction is opposite to the direction of C. Therefore, it is equal to minus D. Minus why? Because the direction has been reversed. Okay, so A B equal to B equal to C equal to minus D vector. Here the magnitude of the D vector is same as that of A, B and C, but its direction is opposite to the direction of vector A, B and C. Yeah. So two vectors are equal only when their magnitudes are equal and they are in the same direction. Next we start with addition of two vectors. As you all know that vectors have got both magnitude as well as direction. So vector quantities are at particular direction. As a result, they cannot be added by simple algebra. Okay? Because angles are involved. Two vectors are at different angles to each other. As a result, they cannot be added simply by using algebra. So we use different methods, laws to add the vectors. Now here I have drawn vector A and vector B. Vector A is horizontal, vector B is at a certain angle to the horizontal. We will see the addition of these two vectors. So first thing, how we will add? What we will do? We will draw a vector parallel to vector A. This is vector A equal in magnitude of this one and same direction. Now we have to add vector B. Now this is the initial point of vector A and this is the final point of vector A. Okay, जो tail है यहाँ पे ये क्या है, starting point क्या है, this is initial point, this is the final point. इसमें vector B ऐड करना है, तो हम vector B के पैरेलल एक वेक्टर बनाएंगे at the same angle to the horizontal. तो ये इसका जो एंगल horizontal से ये एंगल, इसी एंगल पर इसको हमने यहाँ पर प्रोड्यूस किया और इतने ही एंगल को मेजर करके इसके हमने वेक्टर B बना दिया. ये लंबाई किसके बराबर होगी, इसके बराबर होगी. The magnitude of these two vectors is same and angle we have produced vector A and we have taken this same angle here and at the final point of the vector A we have the initial point of vector B at the same angle. Okay, यहाँ पर अब हमें क्या चाहिए, रिजल्टेंट. तो हम क्या इन दोनों को ऐड किया, तो यहाँ से ओरिजिन स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से A के स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट से और B के फाइनल पॉइंट को ज्वाइन कर देंगे. Okay, we have joined this. Okay, so this is the vector A plus B, resultant vector. ये क्या है, R is the resultant vector which is equal to sum of vector A plus vector B. Is it clear? So this is the resultant vector R which represents A plus B. Again I am telling you, see we have got two vectors, vector A, vector B. तो इस वेक्टर के पहले हमने एक वेक्टर बना लिया, तो जो एंगल वेक्टर बी हॉरिजॉन्टल से बना रहा है और जितना इसका मैग्नीट्यूड है यहाँ पे ए के फाइनल पॉइंट पर उतना ही एंगल पर हमने वेक्टर बी बना दिया. ए के इनिशियल पॉइंट को और बी के फाइनल पॉइंट को ज्वाइन कर दिया. ये वेक्टर जो हमें होगा ये क्या देगा नाम है रिजल्टेंट ऑफ द सम ऑफ द वेक्टर्स a प्लस b. सो दिस मैग्नीट्यूड, दिस इज द मैग्नीट्यूड ऑफ a प्लस b एंड दिस इज द डायरेक्शन, रिजल्टेंट डायरेक्शन ऑफ द वेक्टर. दूसरा तरीका भी क्या है, ऐसा कोई जरूरी नहीं है कि वी स्टार्ट फ्रॉम a ओनली, वी कैन ऑल्सो स्टार्ट फ्रॉम b. तो हम b से भी स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं. तो अगर हमने मान लो b से स्टार्ट किया तो सबसे पहले तो ये b हो गया हमारा, इसी को हम आगे ड्रॉ कर देते हैं जहां पर b हुआ, और b के फाइनल पॉइंट से फिर हम a को बना दें. तो इसके पहले हमने यहाँ पे b बना लिया, ये b था, b पहले, और जो एंगल b और a के बीच में था, वट एवर इज द एंगल बिटवीन b एंड a, तो ये एंगल हमारा b और a के बीच में ये क्या है, ये एंगल है, ये वाला एंगल हमने यहाँ से बना लिया. ठीक है, इतना एंगल को हमने इधर से बना लिया, ये और ठीक है. ये हमारा वेक्टर v था, ये एंगल था थीटा मान लिया, तो दिस इज एंगल थीटा हियर एंड वी ड्रॉ अ वेक्टर a. अब क्या करना है, दोनों को जोड़ना है. तो इसको हमने इससे जोड़ दिया. So initial point of B and final point of A. This will give you R, which is equal to B plus A. Now if you look at these two vectors, they are almost parallel. It is not drawn by construction. These two lines should be parallel. So we can add A plus B. यहाँ पर R क्या आया, R is equal to A plus B, which is also equal to B plus A. This tells you that addition is commutative. That is a plus b equal to b plus a. Okay, so it's not necessary that we start from the horizontal one. We can start from any vector. We can start from vector a or we can start from vector b. But what we have to keep in mind, the angle between the two vectors. If we take that angle between the two vectors correctly, then we can get the resultant vector same in any of the conditions of addition, whether it is b plus a or a plus b. The method that we have used for the addition was also known as law of triangles. Now another way of adding these two vectors, okay, we are talking about the same vector that we had added up earlier. We have vector a, that is horizontal, and vector v. So we represent them by the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. Okay, vector a and vector v are represented by the two adjacent sides of the parallelogram. What we do, we complete this parallelogram. We draw a line, whatever this angle is, we draw this angle and complete this, and then we join the diagonal. Okay, this is the diagonal R. Now diagonal represents a plus b. Okay, the diagonal represents vector a plus. This is known as law of parallelogram. What are we doing in this? If two vectors are given and they are to be added up, then we take these two vectors and consider them to be the sides of the adjacent sides of the parallelogram. We complete the parallelogram and join the opposite vertices to get the diagonal. So the diagonal represents the sum of the two vectors. So we come to know that the addition of two vectors, it involves the angle between the two vectors. Okay, the resultant of the addition of the two vectors is also involving the angle between the two vectors. Now if we see that the two vectors are parallel, that is angle between the two vectors is 0, like here a and b, they are in the same direction, the angle between them is 0, so the sum will be added up because they are in the same direction. तो जहाँ पर a खत्म होगा उसके आगे b स्टार्ट हो जाएगा और हमें क्या मिल जाएगा, एक रिजल्टेंट. तो ये हुआ क्या होगा, ये वेक्टर क्या होगा, मैक्सिमम वेक्टर होगा. इसका रिजल्टेंट क्या होगा, सबसे ज्यादा होगा. क्लियर? when they are in the same direction. Now you can see as the angle between the two keeps on, this is the angle, तो जीरो था मैक्सिमम था. जैसे जैसे एंगल बढ़ना शुरू हो जाता है रिजल्टेंट कम होता जाता है. जैसे जैसे एंगल बढ़ना शुरू हो जाता है रिजल्टेंट की लंबाई कम होना शुरू हो जाती है 90 डिग्री पे सबसे कम। उसके बाद अगर ये एंटी पैरेलल है, वेक्टर ए एंड बी आर एंटी पैरेलल, दे आर एट एन एंगल ऑफ ए एंड बी, सो देन इन दैट केस ए और बी उल्टे डायरेक्शन है, ए ऊपर की तरफ जा रहा है और बी नीचे की तरफ जा रहा है, तो सम क्या होगा, ये माइनस हो जाएगा और रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर क्या हो जाएगा, छोटा सा रह जाएगा ए माइनस बी। अगर ए बड़ा है तो ए की डायरेक्शन में और बी बड़ा है तो बी के डायरेक्शन में, सो दैट इज द रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर ऑफ ए एंड बी इफ दे आर इन द direction opposite to each other. Now we have addition of more than two vectors. So here you can see O is the initial point and there are number of vectors A, B, C, D, each in different direction and different magnitude. So we have to add them together. So we start from the point O. We talk about A vector. So we draw a vector parallel to A from the initial point. So this is vector A from O, A. Now next one B ऐड करना है इसमें, तो A और B के बीच में एंगल दिख रहा है 90 डिग्री, ड्रॉ B, A के फाइनल पॉइंट से हमने ये B को ड्रॉ कर दिया, जितना इसका मैग्नीट्यूड है इतना ही इसका मैग्नीट्यूड ले लिया, ठीक है, और B वेक्टर ड्रॉ कर दिया। A और B के बीच में जो एंगल था उतने ही एंगल को ध्यान में रखते हुए यहाँ से हमने ये एंगल लिया, इधर से लेते हैं ये एंगल और इस एंगल को ये हमने B को ड्रॉ कर दिया। फिर B and C, now we have B and C, तो C का जो मैग्नीट्यूड, that magnitude will take and the angle between B and C also will see. So B के इसको प्रोड्यूस किया थोड़ा सा और B और C के बीच में जितना एंगल था उतने एंगल को मेजर किया और उतनी ही साइड को ऐसे हमने बना कर दिया। ये क्या बन गया, वेक्टर C। ये क्या आ गया हमारा वेक्टर C, ओके। एंड देन C और D के बीच में, अब C जहां पे खत्म हो रहा है, दिस इज C और D के बीच में ये आपका एंगल है, तो इसी एंगल को हमने ध्यान रखते हुए इसको थोड़ा सा प्रोड्यूस किया और इस एंगल में जितना ये एंगल है उतना प्रोटेक्टर से मेजर करके उतना एंगल को हमने यहाँ पर ड्रॉ कर दिया यहाँ से, और इसके इनिशियल पॉइंट से मैग्नीट्यूड D का लेके D में ही ड्रॉ कर दिया। नाउ वी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम द इनिशियल पॉइंट O और इन सबको हमें ऐड करना है, तो हमने सारे ड्रॉ कर दिए A, B, C and D. We join them the initial point and the final point of the last vector. Last vector is D vector. तो हमने इसको ज्वाइन कर दिया और ये हमारा रिजल्टेंट वेक्टर R आ गया, which is the sum of A plus B plus C plus D. Okay. So what have we done here? Once again, started from O से ये बनाया, A और B के बीच में जो एंगल था यहाँ से A को प्रोड्यूस किया, उतने एंगल को यहाँ से लिया और B को सेम मैग्नीट्यूड का यहाँ तक बना दिया। फिर B और C के बीच में जो एंगल था यहाँ से B के फाइनल पॉइंट को प्रोड्यूस किया, उतना एंगल यहाँ पे लिया और C को बना दिया, ठीक है। C की लेंथ सेम एज व्हाट इज ड्रॉन हियर, एंड देन C और D के बीच में जो एंगल था C को प्रोड्यूस किया, उतना एंगल यहाँ से लिया और D को प्रोड्यूस कर दिया। अब सम करना है, तो स्टार्टिंग वेक्टर क्या था, A का इनिशियल पॉइंट और D का फाइनल पॉइंट को ज्वाइन कर दिया, वी गेट द सम ऑफ these vectors A plus B plus C plus D. Okay. Now I have taken all the vectors in sequence. Okay, but it's not necessary, as the addition in vector is commutative. We can start from any vector. We can start from B, then we can add D, we can add C, then we can add A. No problem. The resultant will be the same in magnitude and same in direction. So whether you start from A and then go to B, then C, then D, and get the resultant, or you start directly from any other vector like B and C, then D, then A, then also the resultant vector will be equal and in the same direction as we have drawn here. Here we join these two. What are we getting? We are getting the sum of A and B. So O and this point gives you the vector E. This vector E is the sum of A and B. Vector E is the sum of A and B. And if we join these two, vector F, and this is the sum of vector A plus vector B plus vector C. Okay, so E and F are also resultant vector. E is the resultant of A and B, the sum of A and B, and F is the summation of vector A plus vector B plus vector